Hi everyone, it's Nicole and I'm using the Neverland Studio Calico kit, and I had the Tink add-on and the more papers, and this time I took out a lot of stamp sets, and I'm going to quickly try to tell you which one I had. The Scraptastic Club, and they don't really have any names, but it was a little boy, little girl. Studio Calico, none of these have names. This one was one for 2Ps, Maya Road, You've Been Framed, Avery L, or Ellie. I don't know if her name is Ellie or L. This one does not have a name. Oh, Picture It. KI Memory Flashback. Mama Elephant. We Click, Studio Calico, and another one that was an exclusive for 2Ps, and Ali Edwards, the May Studio AE kit. So at this point, that pattern paper that I wanted to use, one of my last layouts, and I think it was the last layout, it just didn't work out. What I decided to do was, I've always wanted to do this, was to do with those little Polaroid frames, to do a page with that, but I want to make my own Polaroid frames. And the thing that I'm using right now, it's a Fiskars press, and where I was going to have to change the size of my stamp every 2 seconds, I didn't want to block because it was just going to take too long. So I just used my press, and I would just put it on, and then I used 3 or 4 different types of ink. 3 of them are from Hero Arts. There's the Cup of Joe, the Raspberry, and the Pale Tomato. And then from Jenny Bolin, I got the chewing gum. And I believe that was the 4 colors that I used. I'm just looking. And the last frame there, I stamped it on vanilla cardstock because I want to keep a strip of that pattern paper because I thought I might need it for the layout. But I end up saying forget it because it's just too different, and I like the tone of it on that pattern paper because it's not like in your face. It's a vanilla, but it's a distressed vanilla, and it has all the colors that are in the layout, so I do end up changing that out. So I cut around all the frames, and this page is about, obviously I go on all the family vacations, but you never be able to tell because I'm hardly in any photos, like hardly any photos. So this time, because we went with another couple, I ended up being in like 12 pictures, which is, she's not a photo fanatic like I am, so she wasn't clicking the whole time. And so it's so much more than I used to be. So I just wanted to, kind of do a page about that. And I have my own printer at home, and it is an Epson PictureMate. Is it Show or Charm? I think it's Show, I think it's called. Yes, because you can see the picture, so that would make sense why it's Show. It's the bigger one. The one that it can turn into like a computer screen. You can see your photos. So instead of cutting out the inside of the Polaroid or out and then placing it on the photo, I decided that I was going to cut the photo to fit inside because then the photo would have a little mat around it. And the cutter that I'm using right now for the photos is the best cutter ever. I've had this for, I would say, 12 years. Yeah, at least 12. And it still cuts like it was brand new. And it's guillotine, but it's just small, and it's from Creative Memories. I'm sure a lot of you have seen these before or used them, and I just love it for my photo. I will not, I don't like using my trimmer for my photos. I use this, which a lot of times I do 6x6, but when I have to cut down my photos, I went from one extreme to another. When I first started scrapbooking, I cut my photos down to nothing, almost all of them. And when I look back, I'm like, oh, why did you do that? Like, I would cut it in the form of a heart, or, a circle, or just really tiny. And now that's why I don't do that. I want to see the whole background. But these here, there's a lot of them that I've already scrapbooked. It was more like I reprinted a lot of them and I made them smaller. I think a lot of them I printed at like 2x3, and some of them were at the 4x6. But it was my friend that took the picture, and she was inside the boat and we were outside, and so she took it from really far away. So it was only me and of my daughter, and it was just really, really tiny. So I figured that was okay to cut. And now, we have digitals too, so it's okay to do that a little bit more, because you can print as many as you want. So now that I'm happy with, all the photos, they're all fitting in the Polaroids. Now the dilemma is, how do I put them on the page? I hadn't thought of it that far. So I'm trying to do like it's a cork board. Hi there. Yes, it had stopped recording, but a whole lot earlier than what I thought. So I'm glad I trusted my instincts. So I'm going to do like it is a cork board. And I'm going to end up changing a few things here, but that's how my brain is working at this point. I'm thinking like cork board like layout. And then when I was looking at it, I thought at the bottom of each of those little Polaroid, there was a spot that was kind of blank. So I thought that's perfect for a word to go. I'm looking at the layout now, and there was a piece of washi tape that was stuck to one of the photos. So I'm trying to remove it. So I'm going to use my shadow ink, and I'm just going to put different words at the bottom of each of those Polaroids. And I'm going to read you the word. I'm going to start at the bottom left there with me, the head up against the wall. It says, "Oh snap, smile, we click, capture through the lens. Love this photo." And it's the one, I guess it's not there yet, but it's going to be me with my two kids, and it'll be to the far right. And then snapshot, this is an adventure, and the first one is story. So I thought that was kind of fun that I was able to put a few, little words. And again, every time we go on vacation, I'm the one with the camera, and I'm the one taking all the photos. So, and that's another thing that if you watched my video of yesterday, I've just been thinking a little bit more, about why am I scrapbooking, and that was what made me think of this layout. Is like, why am I scrapbooking? But I'm never in any of the pictures, so I have to make sure that I hand the camera over a whole lot more. Because if it wouldn't have been for my friend taking pictures, I probably still would have had only 1 or 2 pictures of the whole trip. So at this point, you're going to see it's going to flicker here in a minute, and the battery dies. And while I was waiting for the battery to charge up again, I changed a few things. The second photo to the right next to that little photo, I restamped that again, and I stamped it on the pattern paper, still with the chicken feed ink, but it was too bright. It was too in your face, so I didn't want that anymore. And then I cut that little piece of cardstock at 1 1/4, and then I just put a piece of washi tape on top. And again, it's for that cork board feeling. And then I'm going to start gluing all my photos. And 2 of them I'm going to put on foam tape, and I'm going to take out my giant roll of foam tape. And I'm using that a whole lot more than I thought. Like, I don't think it's going to last me as long as what I thought. I compared it to my second roll, and I mean, this one still looks big, but there's quite a bit gone from the first one. I mean, there's still a lot there, don't get me wrong, but there's less than I thought it would be at this time. So I'm going to do the same thing at the top. I cut a strip of 1 1/4, and I'm going to put a different washi tape, because I mean, when you're a teenager and you're decorating a cork board, you know, you try to use as many different things as you can. So again, I'm going to put some foam tape in behind the photos, or certain photos, so that some of them look popped up. And this is where I decide to change the photos, the order of the photos. And again, I'm going to glue in behind some of the circles. And we had gotten those in a kit, I believe it was last month. And I tried my hardest to use those, and there was no way. I just could not think of a way to use them. And this was a perfect place to use them. So I used the entire package. So yay for me, I used it. And then I decided on the title, and it's going to say Mom Sighted in NYC. And it was sort of to mimic, you know, like if there's a star that's sighted somewhere, you know, they kind of make a big deal out about it. And so this was sort of a big deal because I had 3 pictures, at least 12 pictures of me in New York. And I don't know if you noticed there, because it is a little bit fast speed, but I didn't have a C for New York, so I took the one, the right C, right color of C. I took another one, and I took an O, and I just, because it's the exact same shape, it's just cut different spot. So I used it, and I just made my own C. And then this is where you could see that, you know, 3/4 of those letters fell off. I mean, you know, whatever. I put it on foam tape, and I put it back in the package. I mean, I love the letters. I love the colors. I just wish they would stick on the package. But if you're having the same issue, just put it on wax paper, and it seems to stay. And I had seen Maggie Milo, Lisa, do that, so it gave me the idea to just do that and not deal with it anymore. So now I'm going to take my favorite ink now, Pale Tomato from Hero Arts, and I'm going to stamp 3 little hearts, and it's like a little frame, and it's from Technique Tuesday, and it's the May AE limited edition stamp set. And again, I'm just kind of stamping through the page to make it look like it's a cork board and it was decorated. So now I'm going to take, it's a Kaiser Art stamp, and it's all little bubbles like circles, and I stamp throughout the page. And again, it's just to give it that feeling that, you know, it's a cork board and it's messy. And I am going to journal on that page, and I'm going to show you a fun way to hide some journaling. And now I decided that all those Polaroids were a little, I can't put layers on that page because, you know, I don't want to put pattern paper around it. So I'm going to find a different way. So this is how I'm going to put that extra journaling. I drew out my tag the way I want it to sit. I'm going to put foam tape all around, and I'm going to cut the excess off because I want it to go to the very tip. And then I measured how big it was. I didn't want to leave just the backing because I didn't want that to eventually slip off and then it would stick to the rest of my, you know, page protectors or my other page. And again, I'm just going to cut off the top so that it fits perfectly, and then the tag slips, it's in the back of the page. And what I ended up doing was I put washi tape at the top so that it matches the page or coordinates with the page, and then I put a piece of twine at the top of the tag. And now I inked it up with some glimmer glaze, and I only put one color. And now I'm figuring out what else I could put to add dimensions. So I added some wood veneer stamps, or wood veneers. And what am I doing now? Oh, I took those little clothespins and I put a brown one and a pink one because there was not two of the same color. And I put one at the top left and one at the bottom right, so it looks like it's the beginning and the end. And then I put some enamel dots on 3 frames, and everything I'm doing in 3s. And I'm not sure what I'm getting right now. I'm still looking for different things that I can put. Oh, I decided to go get my sequins, and I put 3 of those. And the page is done. But take a look at the still photos, because I forgot the rub-ons. They were behind me and I forgot them. So I did add a rub-on to at the bottom of the page. And that too, I'm going to journal some things that I just want to, leave for my kids. And there it is. It's the rub-on and it's of New York City. So that's it. The page is done. So thanks for watching. Bye.